Yo, what is good? My anime people, what is good, yo? So our Lord and crazy Holy War wannabe lover is in finally the thing that has the title in it, the Zeppelin or whatever. This train has already made its first victim, and this is kind of what I expected from this show because, or not this show, but what I expected from this area simply because of like how much weirdness seemed to be just like all of a sudden there's an auction that they pretty much buy and trade off people's, eyes. Like these eyes that some of these people have, they're literally born with them sometimes. So to think that they're just oxygen ox auctioning them off like it's nothing, and people can buy them, or vice versa, you have to like fight for them. But it sounds like they were talking about they can be sold though, so I'm really interested to see what they mean by all this and where this is actually going, because now we're in a position where even if we learn like what people are going to get out of this, like what everybody's goals are, someone's already made their move and attacked and straight up beheaded someone who had a very, very important skill for one of the people that are already here, which kind of didn't make sense to me, like in the grand scheme of how she like she dies. Because, well, I guess it can make sense, like maybe her eyes weren't active or something, but she has the ability to pretty much see everything that's about to happen, or like get a vision of stuff that's about to occur. So to see her have this full blown conversation with our main character, our Lord, and then all of a sudden she goes back to her room and she doesn't predict anything or get to really see in the future of anything, any events occurring. She somehow gets deheaded, like just head gone, and I think maybe put on the roof or something because we saw blood dripping from it. Um, But yeah, this is what I've been expecting of these types of shows. Fate has always been the type of series to do whatever the heck it wants. There's no real guidelines behind what they can do or what they plan to do, and I think it shows every single time I watch one of these series. And there's usually a character that I'm like, okay, well, she seems she seems relatively important, so maybe she won't get absolutely. Oh, she's dead. Oh, she's dead. Like, holy crap, man! They really don't care about any of these characters in the grand scheme of like what they live for and stuff, because more or less these are just characters who are expendable in the grand scheme of the show. They are just there to make, you know, certain like pop off things, like for instance this girl dying after learning her ability. It makes it feel like there's definitely someone out there with ridiculous amount of either preparation of what they're going to do, or they're just much more powerful and sneakier than anyone can imagine right now, because to take out somebody with no noise, or I want to say it didn't look like there was much of a struggle. Like the room looked relatively left normal besides her body, like it didn't look like they were throwing stuff, running around the room trying to escape and stuff. It looked like as soon as they got in there, their head was just gone. The only reason why anybody on the train knew about it is because the person that rooms with her went in there and found her that way. So it also gives you that type of, that's what I mean by like, this person literally has gone in to a ridiculous amount of work to take out this person, including a person who can literally predict certain things that are going to happen before they happen. So that's a big advantage taking her out this early on on the train and stuff. Not to mention, this is pretty much like what they're here for, right? Like they're here to kill, steal, and make away with whatever important things are here, which we learned there is a supposed mystic rainbow rank of these eyes, and if you were to get one, you are one of the most like wanted out or seeked out person ever, and they're going to want to body you. So now, with all that being said, we have to literally solve a case which there's a girl who was in the one of the bigger the last case or bigger, yeah, I think it was the last case, where the guy with the fairy eyes who can see fairies, and this is what I mean by it's kind of messed up that they're auctioning off these eyes or like people are being sold or whatever have you, however this thing goes, because he was born with uh those eyes. Like he had no choice to have those fairy eyes to be able to pretty much see and be in contact with the fairies. So to us, that's what it kind of seems like is they're grabbing people like him and bringing them in and then practically plucking out their eyes, or taking out their eyes and doing whatever they see fit with it. So I don't know, man. This turned into a crazy episode very quickly, which isn't a bad thing. Like, I expect these types of things to pop off in Fate series, but to take out a girl that was getting close, uh, not close, but she had a good amount of information already on our main guy, and she was kind of just picking apart the little pieces that she knew and was throwing it at him and seeing what stuck. Like, oh, you were in the Holy War, or someone like you who has ties to the Holy War will always be like pulled back to it and stuff like that. And we learned that even if our main character figures out a way to see the Conqueror, supposedly they aren't supposed to remember their previous summoner. So even if he summons the guy that he truly just wants to see and say something to, and whatever the case he wants to do, um, he might not be remembered. He might not even know who this person is. But to be fair, the Conqueror didn't seem like uh, one of your normal summons because every single one of his soldiers were out there with him. Like every time these soldiers had probably picked him over life or death, there's no way he's forgotten them, right? So he might be one of the weird ones that after meeting the people that he meets, maybe he turns them into soldiers amongst his armies, and that's kind of a way that he can remember their face or so. But even if that was the case, our main character has gone through a dramatic character change. So even if he saw him, the way that he used to be, he might not recognize him. He might be like, who the heck is this kid? And why the heck does he know me so well? So it's getting quite crazy. We also know someone from the Holy Church is here, which was like a big red flag for every single person on board the train. I'm guessing the Holy Church is kind of like the cops of this all. But like I was saying, the girl who was in the fairy eye case and was kind of convicting the guy with the eyes of killing his own father shows up and gives us a reason to not believe in her or the person that was involved in a case with the two girls that wound up being together. There was like a girl and a maid and her brother, and the same thing, like a father had died, but no one knew had done it, and the girl and the maid wanted to be together. And one of the people who were inspecting it all, or like going there to see what the heck happened, was the guy who the girl with the glasses was talking to. He was there when all that stuff popped off with the maid and the girl. Now we got the person who came to the fairy eyes here. Like everybody, like our main character was saying, he knows like half of the faces there. So it's kind of a problem when it comes down to going full out with people that you might have thought were your friends or you might thought were comrades, but not only that, they kind of have a good understanding of what you can do as well as you to them. So I don't know. It's definitely heating up, and we have our first murder on a train. So I can't wait to see what this leads to. I mean, Sure, it's probably going to lead to them solving the case and finding out that maybe the person who stole the mantle is the same person, or maybe there's just multiple upon multiple ways to get taken out of this train, like literally die. If maybe you break a rules, or maybe if you just don't do everything accordingly, like protecting your room, like with enchantments and stuff, making sure people don't get in there and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's really interesting though. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I am your boy, the Anime G, and I definitely will be talking to you guys tomorrow. Uh, that daily anime life, and can't wait to see what we get in those week's episodes as well. But for now, I will talk to you guys in the next one. So with that, peace. I might get hit by this. I got hit by that.